I will be looking at a leaked document pertaining to and from DEA at SCPF Metably. Right. It's 17 pages long and has been written by, compiled by, and published internally by a former DEA attaché at SCPF Metably, therefore making it completely official and legitimate. This document has been titled Surviving DEA, and it has been marked for internal use only at level 4+. If you do not hold the level 4+ role or post necessary to view this, this is unauthorized to you and for you. It is an assessment of internal best practices at DEA. It has been authored by Fatred Renard. It is a supplement to his 5-way suggestion thread in the DEA Discord server. The Technical and Administrative Dictionary pertaining to this release is beautiful with internal use only and through your. It's just the dissemination control. Now, I'll be reading this to you. So settle in. Internal use only. Introduction. Surviving DEA. A brief and detailed look at the newcomers/diplomats not passing initial scrutiny can insignificantly stress tasks of operational DEA diplomats and/or attached personnel. Officials at various SCPFs and GOIs use screening to quickly evaluate arriving newcomers and identify those that may not be admissible, such as infiltrators, trolls, and other nuisances, disgruntled exxon members, or intelligence officers. For communities with poor opinions of SCPF Metably, officials may also want to deny entry to SCPF Metably members or DEA personnel. ISD or official inspectors can refer newcomers to questioning when they find suspicious motives, comments, or user data of/with a newcomer. Further questioning can occur if irregularities or questions arise during any stage of financial processing for a DEA, ISD, or suspicious community members, and regardless of whether the diplomat is on official business of SCPF Metably or not. Officials may also randomly select diplomats. The resulting questioning can involve in-depth and lengthy interrogation, intrusive searches of personal information across social media, cross-checks against external databases, and collection of user data, all of which focus significant scrutiny on an operational DEA diplomat and/or attached personnel. This study examines triggers for questioning used at various fictional SCPFs/GOIs. Included herein is the range of subsequent scrutiny of identity and responses that are most likely to pass questioning with potential lines intact. Note: although the information available is sufficient to provide general insights into questioning criteria and procedures that DEA personnel may experience at foreign SCPFs and/or HGOIs, it is insufficiently detailed, comprehensive, and timely to provide tactical intelligence for operational DEA diplomats and/or attached personnel. Moreover, the examples cited in the study illustrate the range of potential experiences, but do not evaluate specific communities. This finished product contains reporting that carries a standard SCPF dissemination control, but has been pre-approved by the issuing department for distribution to officials who hold appropriate clearances of level 4 or higher of the respective departments of SCPF Metably. This entire community and department issued official DEA document is marked for internal use only at level 4 or higher, as I've said. Page 2, technically page 7. Pre-arrival screening. Although selection for questioning frequently occurs while newcomers are answering questions from ISD officers, officials may also pre-select newcomers because of some flags in the SCPF affiliation. Many SCPFs issue all clears upon arrival. However, nearly 50 SCPFs require newcomers and 50 DEA personnel to submit themselves to questioning, and for operational personnel, this creates challenges in their own unique way in each community. Here, we tackle some. Available reporting does not detail the criteria with which security services screen newcomers, but confirmed or suspected SCPF Metably/DEA affiliation almost certainly raises their operational diplomat's profile. For example, SCPF Toastmate does not tolerate or welcome active affiliated SCPF Metably members. Former members are treated with suspicion during a period lasting several weeks before able to hold high-ranking posts. Foreign SCPF officials may also receive advanced information that arriving newcomers from forwarded or leaked loose talk. Do not discuss potential diplomatic possibilities openly or internally unless they are concretely then confirmed by your supervisor, or DEA forwards this as an invitation to open relations with an SCPF or a GOI. Make sure you keep any information and/or intelligence received during or by diplomatic missions and/or operations between you, the authorized party in question, bracketed, if present, and your supervisor. Do not discuss this among colleagues. Security services with such early warning information may have other arrangements to receive such manifests ahead of time. For example, SCPF Toastmatch formerly frequently sent intelligence officers on espionage missions to SCPF Metably to recruit assets to befriend multiple department junior members from which to elicit internal and/or classified information. Similar happened under the Parade administration to elicit the visitation and potential information from DEA, which was used to poison the well, so to speak, by filling the communication lines of potential allies in freshly added communities with poisonous and toxic rumors to fill the space before DEA could arrive in sufficient quantity and start negotiations. TLDR, remain highly suspicious of anyone that's asking too many off-topic or off-sounding questions, and maintain OPSEC, operational security. Primary screening. In primary inspections, community inspectors examine user data and online identity for validity and authenticity and to verify individuals' identities. We frequently query the watch lists or other databases for community violations, negligent records, or community security concerns and ask basic questions pertinent to admissibility. The entire process usually lasts no more than a few minutes to enable communities to keep up with the flow of regular operations. If there is a watchlist match or inspectors decide that user data is suspect, or for some reason to doubt the newcomer's stated reason for joining, refer the newcomers to secondary screening. Officials at most SCPF-related communities on average send about 1 in 30 newcomers to secondary. For example, the Period administration imposed secondary screening on 26% of newcomers arriving at SCPF. Available reporting does not indicate secondary selection percentages for other SCPFs. This is page 8. My nose is killing me. Like this. With the exception of GLYs, most SCP-related communities have such measures in place, primarily in their own interest. Reporting indicates that the overall reception of Metably SCPF is overwhelmingly positive, and that most such measures are justified by warding off hostile elements from communities such as SCPF post-Mage. Triggers for secondary screening. Referral to secondary screening can occur for concrete reasons, such as a watchlist match or suspicion of espionage or infiltration, because of random selection, or because the inspector suspects that something about a newcomer is not right. Simply gut feeling, basically. Inconsistencies or conflicts identified in the interview or documentation, including catching a person in a false statement, unreasonable explanation for joining, revealing diplomatic information, having been connected with diplomatic espionage due to internal loose talk, or anomalies in behavior of profile or profiles will prompt a referral to secondary screening. Newcomers from specific communities arriving at select SCPFs or GOIs are more likely to receive heightened scrutiny and a referral to secondary screening than other newcomers. Behavior, dress, and demeanor also factor into the inspector's decision. However, no newcomer is immune from the possibility of secondary. Many foreign communities have a top-secret administrative requirement for a minimum number of random selections. Watchlist head. Foreign officials, many communities use watchlists, community, departmental, and inter-community, to screen newcomers. For example, the overwhelming majority of names on a watchlist are accounts suspected of corruption or pedophilia and child molestation accusations. Good preparation is key. Newcomers can minimize the possibility of secondary by knowing how to prepare and how to prepare for and navigate the primary inspection, and by avoiding to the extent possible, which can, by the way, strongly differ from person to person, so this is kind of a very vague statement. The various triggers for secondary. Watchlists maintained by security services can also include names of confirmed or suspected community intelligence officers, according to reports from several clandestine sources, and personal year-long deep cover investigation. Insiders wittingly or unwittingly share classified or restricted information to foreign intelligence officers. Honeypots may be utilized by foreign adversaries which seek to entrap using false relationships to elicit money, information, and time and energy. Allies may maintain their own databases which may leak and trip-feed names and other information. Always stress appropriate safety measures within an NRGI or SCPF. Available reporting does not confirm the presence of names of suspected or confirmed DEA members on foreign community watch lists. However, this should probably be assumed. Hostile services seek to identify potential vulnerabilities. Hostile services as in foreign adversaries. The term is used interchangeably quite loosely in DEA. Page 9. Discovery of diplomatic mission. Security community officials have wide latitude to screen newcomers with true intention and honesty and provided reasons for joining a specific community. Although potential spies are a common target of community inspectors, the line of definition between diplomatic analysis and espionage is very thin. For example, a DEA analyst has been sent on a diplomatic mission in his field to SCPF Peanut. He was found with videos and or photographs of documents, the SCPF Roblox groups, and the main SCPF Discord server. It is directed to questioning when we undergo full searches of Discord account and social media, discovering that it is a part of SCPF Metably, DEA. Oof. That's bad. Of course, by the statement in this document on the cover page, I believe, it says this is a fictional scenario in a fictional community. But again, this document is classified for internal use only, so sources are obviously not publicly provided, not publicly filed. So we don't know if the fictional scenario, is based on real events. The analyst conducts himself professionally and calm, but insists on defending his personal duty as a DEA analyst, explaining the situation as a diplomatic mission in an effort to ensure open relations. He is not believed, and the probe masquerade has caused a 6-month relation blacklist to be issued, and generally anti-SCPF Metably sentiment in the target community. Wow, that's fucking bad. That is fucking bad. Irregularity. Dominance of communication, specifically in keeping OPSEC in, are a frequent cause of referral to secondary. Fraudulent mission statements, suspicious speech, and irregular stories may prompt secondary scrutiny. For example, Diplomat A identifies himself in the target community as a diplomat of SCPF Metably, but then gets involved in a story where he recounts the SCPF having been under the Perry administration, accidentally miscommunicating that it is indeed owned by the Perry administration, causing a brief blacklist that is quickly resolved. But the damage is done, or was done. Another example. Attaché A, together with Diplomat A, have successfully integrated the community and have openly started establishing positive inter-community relations between SCPF Metably and GOIK. During a diplomatic mission, Attaché A inadvertently reveals classified information about SCPF Menably's projects while conversing with a community member about Diplomat A. The slip-up is reported to the community's security officials, leading to an investigation. SCPF Metably takes immediate action, questioning Attaché A and conducting a thorough review of interactions. Apologies are offered to the host community, emphasizing the incident is an isolated mistake. Despite the apologies, the slip-up strains trust to cooperation between SCPF Metably and GOIK, and it is eventually decided to put this potential alliance on ice for an indefinite period. In diplomatic missions, even a small slip-up can have significant consequences and impact inter-community relations. Trust and confidentiality are crucial elements, and any breach can undermine the mission's objective and damage the perception of the involved parties. Exercise utmost caution in intricate social situations. Your job and our community depend on it. Suspicious signs. Inspectors can also refer to secondary screening individuals who arouse suspicion but for whom there is no substantive cause for denying entry into the community. Behavior. Foreign communities use specialist techniques and undercover officers to identify newcomers displaying unusually nervous behavior. Physiological signs of nervousness include shaking or trembling hands, rapid breathing for no apparent reason, cold sweats, pulsating carotid arteries, a flushed face, and an avoidance of eye contact. This is reflected in online behavior. Always remain calm and professional and conduct yourself in such a manner. Defend your duties as a DEA member. Now we come to the profiling guidelines. This is quite an interesting part here. As shown, these are also marked as for official use only, which is, in this case, for internal use only, but it's the same thing. Behavior. Unusual nervousness or anxiety by diplomat or those accompanying the diplomat. Secret contact with other people lacking apparent ties. Appearance of lying or withholding information. Reason for joining. Unusual and ill-fitting of the person. Previous affiliation with oppressive persons, groups, or potential trouble sources. Inability to recall critical details pertaining to joining. User data. Unusual account creation dates, barely within minimum requirements. Conflicting information on public profiles or other user data. Freshly changed before joining community. History of changing public identities. Plans and/or purpose. Actions in direct or indirect conflict with stated plans or purpose. Information given in opposition to plans or purpose. And amount of plans suspiciously high or low. Source: confidential proprietary and personal year-long deep cover investigation. This is page 10. At any foreign community, you will be new for months. People will therefore look for discrepancies in your stories, and appearing nervous is a big red flag. Your job as a DEA member will be significantly complicated if you appear or are nervous in a foreign community, as many undercover officers look for such clues. Always tell the truth unless questioned on a sensitive topic. Political or social topics are risk factors. During initial community arrival, people and officials will question and study you out of curiosity. They will naturally look for signs of nervousness or other suspicious behavior. Suspicious behavior includes continuously switching topics or studying the security procedures or asking too many consistent questions. Stick to one topic, carefully chosen. Offer your own experience and stories, but keep them real and grounded. Do not make them too exciting or unrealistic. Pace yourself. Ask questions slowly. Ask a handful of people one time and another group one time. Give and take. Community of origin. Inspection officials and communities associate specific communities with trouble and are more likely to refer people from those communities to secondary screening. Page 11. Visitation pattern. A visitation history that indicates possible association with trolls, espionage, or infiltration can prompt a referral to secondary. Having a history of joining, then promptly or shortly leaving a community without public notice or valid reason spreads bad word about you and possibly DEA. Did you previously join a community and then promptly or shortly left it with no notice or valid reason, but are assigned to this community as a part of your job? Contact your supervisor and ask to be put onto a different assignment, and the assignment to be done by a qualified colleague. Did you newly join a community? Stick to it. Do not leave it unless it is clearly not suitable for relations or ordered to. Do not join a community you are not ready to dedicate yourself for DEA. It does not matter if it is off the job. It still affects your performance. If you leave after you join, you no matter what arouse suspicion and a permanent bad first opinion about you in that community. This reflects on DEA, and DEA will reflect that on you. Sounds quite threatening, doesn't it? Public profile on items. Item purchase anomalies can result in referral to secondary. People unconsciously look for discrepancies, frequent name changes on one's public profile, common status changes, and sudden rapid purchases of items. All from discrepancies if coupled with a new deployment on a diplomatic mission, as this may be seen as an attempt to mask one's identity for malicious purposes. Consider holding off from multiple Roblox items purchases, frequent name changes online, and status changes until after a diplomatic mission has been announced to the target community or authorized by it. Preferably hold off until talks begin to avoid confusing your diplomatic host community. Well, that really sounds quite oppressive and threatening. Well, on a second thought, it really does. And no doubt, this has been coordinated with and shown to the director of DEA, Mr. General 42. And for some fucking reason, the director thought, yeah, this looks good. Yeah, we want to publish this. Yeah, go ahead, you're fine. This is good to go. Yeah. What the fuck? Uh, I feel like someone hit Mr. General 42 over the head with a fucking e-tool. He went, yeah, oh yeah, this is good to go. Yeah, publish it. Probably not even looking at it. Because, 70 pages, that's so much to read through. Bitch. Then you cannot be a fucking director. Who allowed this to be published? I mean, the director, obviously. Why did the director allow this to be published by DEA? What the fuck? It is true, but man, this was written threateningly. Wow. Now, we have quite a helpful table here with areas of concern, goals, and suspect communities of origin. In the category of area of concern of infiltration, we have the goals, communications, and operations disruption by the suspect communities of origin, parried administration groups and affiliates across Roblox, financial and reputational ruin, SCPF Toastmate and affiliates, and imprisonment of admin or administrator on false/forged charges by SCPF by Warnick. In the area of concern of trolling, we have backdooring of community developmental assets, SCPF Toastmate, exploiting/course game deletion, SCPF Toastmate and affiliates, SCPF by Warnick and affiliates. Wow. Great public outrage administrator, SCPF by Warnick, SCPF Toastmate, remnants of Swift administration. Wowee. And under the area of concern of espionage, we have illicit personal and or classified information from SCPF Toastmate and affiliates, remnants of Swift administration, tailored social attacks by SCPF Toastmate and SCPF by Warnick, hacking of community executive accounts by parried administration groups and affiliates across Roblox. Wow. I mean, imagine if this shit leaked, which it did, you know? And it's written so aggressively. Like, the director, I can guarantee that the director, Mr. General 42, was so fucking lazy that he wouldn't even read an official publication under and of his name at DEA, his fucking department. Didn't even read through that. Said, oh yeah, without looking at it, I can tell this is good to go. I don't care what it is, just publish it under my name. What the fuck, Mr. General 42? What the fuck is wrong with you? Here we go. As a member of DEA, your profile is key in your job. Keeping your profile politically neutral in accordance with social norms and friendly and clear to visitors is a priority. An unexpected political comment or statement, a socially taboo post, or needless and unfun overly convoluted puzzles pertaining to you, inappropriate clothing, will either arouse hostility or confusion. Here are several points. Be mindful of implications of wearing specific types of identifying or political clothing. It does not only make you a target, but it also reflects poor taste and poor choice. Keep your clothes neutral or professional. Political affiliation does not belong in Roblox. It does not belong in diplomacy. And it certainly risks drama spilling into diplomatic missions. Keep it off your profile unless you're an executive who mostly adds final touches. This brings me back on Mr. General 42, like making racist jokes about Kurdish people. Yeah, wow. That's what the fuck is wrong with you, Mr. General 42? Like people showed me screenshots of what he posted. Like this is just sick what he posts. People showed me screenshots of his activity. And showed me video evidence of what he posts and literally him admitting it. Having discussions on it in the DEA Discord server. Like what the fuck? Huh? You'd think that the hacker would just go into DMs for that, not discuss it openly, what he did in the DEA Discord server, in public chat. But that's his right, not my problem. It's just very suspicious of what he posts. And this point struck me significantly. Carelessly made comments can be perceived as microaggressions. Beware of what you say, be mindful in understanding of others if misunderstandings or lapses in communication occur. Talk, but choose topics wisely. Express yourself, but keep the perception of your expressions by others in mind. Speak with purpose on a job. Aim to get things done. Aim to achieve on the job. The sooner you embrace this, the sooner you will be making alliances that will pay you, DEA, and SCPF Metably dividends for life. Other factors. A review of clandestine reports suggested a newcomer's language, capability, age, appearance, or background may all factor into a security official's decision to refer the traveler to secondary. Maintain cultural awareness. A lack of proper etiquette and cultural awareness can often raise subtle doubts with big effects. If you are careless, you will fail to notice the subtle doubts and reap the big effects. Yeah, I've personally experienced that. Yeah, I know that rings true. That I've experienced that. Keep the greater good in mind. Sometimes there's no direct answer. Oftentimes, what is good for the SCPF community as a whole is also good for SCPF Metably. We all work together, so let's break a few eggs to make an omelette. Use positive language, put on a nice tone, and use emojis. Make your messages clear, concise, and pleasant, especially on diplomatic missions. Be open and receptive, but also assertive. Do not be afraid to put your foot down during negotiations, as long as both parties win in the end. Do not lay on too thick, and find the appropriate balance in each situation. Build trust, build friendships, get comfortable with your host community and integrate. Understand the challenges and don't be afraid to reach out a helping hand unrelated to your mission in the host community. That is actually genuinely great advice, bro. That is great advice. And that does not always have to work, but it can also be fun. Relax, sit back a bit, and simply build trust and relations with people. Yeah, that's actually wonderful advice. That is so true. Yeah. Page 13. Random selection. Even if operational diplomats and/or attached personnel do everything correctly, the possibility remains that community officials will select them for secondary screening. Random selection is a significant component of the security measures employed by the ISD. Almost all communities. Remain and conduct yourself calm and professional. If discovered without having announced yourself as a DEA member on a diplomatic mission, defend your duties, but keep a cool head and see it from the perspective of your target community. Yeah, that is again pretty damn good advice. Hell yeah. Foreigner community officials may also attack newcomers simply for petty personal reasons, such as disliking a profile, a choice of name, avatar, interests, and more. In this case, it is best to wait a few hours and ignore the incident and observe what is being done about it, if anything. If no appropriate internal measures are taken by the foreign community, judged by yourself or with the help of your supervisor, it is best advised to covertly extract from the community and report the whole matter to your supervisor. Yeah, that's again great advice. Yeah. Secondary screening. The combination of procedures available in secondary, a stressful experience for any newcomer, may pose significant strain on an operational diplomat's ability to maintain cover. Individuals singled out during primary inspections are sent to secondary. After newcomers undergo a wait, inspectors conduct soft or hard secondary processing. Soft secondary, which is usually brief, is normally directed at legitimate newcomers who require additional processing, such as travelers arriving for unclear motivations. Inspectors most likely conduct additional database checks on travelers' names, dates, and social media. Failure to pass soft secondary or suspicion on the part of second inspector that suspicious activities involved will invoke hard secondary, which can involve intense questioning over several hours. In this case, excuse yourself, covertly extract from the community, and report the incident to your supervisor. Yeah, that's generally good advice. Also, even SCPF Metably departments generally post the most experienced and expert members as supervisor. This is most likely true for DEA as well. If unsure, always consult your supervisor. This booklet is not a wonder solution to everything. Trust your supervisor and their expertise. Yeah, I mean, if the supervisor is genuinely an experienced person, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And here we have a short performance introspection list to be filled out by the reader, apparently. Reading, my biggest challenge in DEA is the thing that does not work is, the thing that does work is, and I can solve that by. That's a bit weird, but it's certainly engaging. So there's some reason to have it there. Good things take time. Take a step back, see the bigger picture, and take a day off under agreement with your supervisor and your target audience of a diplomatic mission. People love to be promised a better future in their existence. I mean, why wouldn't we? In a cold, chaotic, and unpredictable world, we all struggle to make sense of everything. That is why all of us need acknowledgement and assurance of the right direction to go and the right place to eventually reach. So we have a calming, confident, using feeling that no matter what form of adversity life throws at us, but you need to take a step back and see the greater good, the bigger picture. Can you back up what you promise, what you offer? Yes, is the same true for your target audience or DEA? Can X thing actually work? Is that the right thing to do? Those questions get lost in the finer detail, but the big picture holds the finer detail together. Relations fail, outreach fails, and sometimes you fail in life, but you go on. Learn from that. Learn from failing. Failing is good because it allows you to learn to fail less and less until you've mastered a given field and no longer fail. Do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to mess up. As long as you learn from that for the sake of the greater good, it happens to the best of us. Newcomers can, in accordance with many communities, rules or regulations, be held in secondary screening for hours, if not longer. It is best generally stick to a 48-hour rule. Whether your target community knows you are with DEA and on the job, if suspicions about you or things related to you are not cleared up within 48 hours, it is best to simply abandon the community until another analyst reports that such behavior has been removed from the community in question. Communities conducting secondary inspection most likely have no right of access to the DEA or other equivalent assistance against you, SCPF Metably, or our DEA. Never retaliate. The strongest expressions must be limited to rightful and appropriate demands, defending, insisting, maintaining a position, and your policy. We are here united to protect, not to divide and to attack. Keep that in mind, even when you do really feel like stating an angry opinion. Use the opportunity to grow as an individual, improve your skills, and DEA. Verification of newcomer stories. As part of an investigation of newcomers, community officials can contact the contacts and friends online to verify given information. If you can, and it is appropriate to do so, it is critical that you maintain simple, honest, and concise answers to questions, and that you speak only on topics that you know sufficiently to fluently talk about them with others. Keep your options open. It suits nobody if petty squabbles kill potential contacts, friends, or alliances. But the truth is, it happens every day, dozens of times. Find common ground, despite difficulties. Make friends out of people you don't get along with by being flexible. And back your words up. Actions speak louder than words. So make good on your promises and your statements, or say nothing at all. Page 15. Perspective and social intelligence. One thing that might help you is to consider the possibility that not everyone has the same brain type as you. Some people are naturally more intuitive and rational, but they tend to be taught in more mystical ways. If you're a highly rational and dramatic person, well, that's just one way. Other people might be wired very differently from you. You may never have seen a demon, but maybe never will. But someone else might have. It is possible. And so there's a huge disconnect. Don't expect people to translate all the understandings and experiences into the rationalist paradigm. That would be a rather lazy attitude. Accept the responsibility for understanding rather than putting the burden of proof on others. No one owes you understanding. It's your job to grapple with the mysteries of reality, to connect people and build concrete relations. Accept denials. Take a no at times. Present your best image. Present us in the best light appropriate. Use clear and pleasant language, but they still say no. Respect that. People have their own views. Sometimes they reject relations altogether because we're not ready. Respect that and ask again in a few months. However, always be ready to take people up on an offer that they previously turned down. If given time to think, people often change their minds. Use this to your advantage. Do not always respond on time. Give them a few minutes to think things through, and then enact them. Once you start the talks, always be timely. If you give them an offer, let them think before you reply, but always ensure and insist on mutual respect. When in an attack, diplomat or DEA. As a member of DEA, you have diplomatic immunity. They cannot touch you, but they can still badmouth you. Never deny things that you're being attacked on. Disprove false data with clear and factual evidence. The DEA cookie jar is empty. Show them it's full, and show the public. It is a form of disproving utterly the false statement of documents or demonstration or display. However, there is a rule to this. Only disprove what you feasibly can, and let the rest slide like it never happened, but learn from it. Learn to provide ready evidence for the next wave of trouble. Do not beat yourself up over hiccups. Be honest where appropriate. Never volunteer information. But before a diplomatic mission is announced, it is best to use a cover story. If you're an analyst, it is necessary to evaluate on a case-by-case basis whether you should announce his work or use a cover. In any case, if found out, be honest, but never admit that you were sent by DEA and that you are simply doing your job on your own. Personal electronics. Always keep your devices on which your account data is securely stored, password protected. Consider taking additional steps such as enabling two-factor authentication and use different passwords for each application and set of accounts respectively. Page 16. Dealing with questioning. Consistent, well-rehearsed, and plausible cover is important for avoiding questioning. It is advised that the most effective prevention of secondary is to have simple and plausible answers to the two most frequently asked questions. Why are you here? And if you're found out or announcing your affiliation at work, who is SCPF Metably? Newcomers should also ensure before conducting diplomatic missions that everything that our foreign officials can use to examine mission and identity, social media, visit history, reason for joining, identification, affiliations, web presence, is consistent with the covers. Mental preparation almost certainly helps people pass secondary scrutiny, although a certain degree of nervousness is expected. Persistent indications of deceptive behavior will almost certainly extend the secondary interview. Potentially deceptive persons allow a significant pause between a question and a response, or use delaying sounds like ah or exhibit psychosomatic behavior such as swallowing, lip biting, perspiring, deep breathing, frequent clothing adjustments, or lint picking. This is unconsciously reflected in your behavior even online. Your avatar, communication, and timeliness are only a few of such reflectors. Qualify sentence meanings with other words like typically, normally, often, maybe, or almost, or phrases like to be honest, the truth is, or swear to God. Provide overly specific responses. Newcomers who avoid providing unnecessary details probably shorten questioning. To avoid appearing nervous, keep answers simple and do not volunteer additional information, such as details on SCPF Metably contacts. The importance of maintaining cover, no matter what, on page 16. Even when a newcomer does everything right, the best protection during secondary screening is to be well prepared with a cover story. A lot of the times when we're trying hard to solve our own personal problems, we often beat around the bush rather too much. We try to associate with anything but our own sense of accountability and responsibility. We often let ourselves float, glide around the emotional waves as our problems spawn from in us. How can you create a keep cover story when you do not take responsibility and accountability for your actions? Already you should have probably have noticed a marked increase in the ability to handle life and others. You have started an adventure of success. Welcome and good luck in the career of DEA at SCPF Metably. For any additional information, consult your supervisor. He is a general in desperate need of some good order. Will you bring it that order? Page 17. This intelligence works based exclusively on the content and behavior of selected media and has been coordinated with others. For official use only, level 4+. Research and analysis conducted from information and intelligence from 2018 to 2023. Select source files will no longer be available due to professional disposal of the sensitive material contained therein. Well, that is the leak. That is the complete leak. What do you think? Do you agree with the content herein, contained herein? Who cares really? Huh? It doesn't matter. If you'd like to take a look at this file yourself, it is not sterilized. You can take this file, you can take it at your own account if you want to. I'll put a link to it in a download link in the mega.nz in the video description. You can download it, look at it yourself, edit it, even steal it. I don't care. Simply get some use out of it. That's it. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. And take care of yourself.